Hi everyone, we're here at the Crawford County Humane Society on Park Avenue, and we're talking to LeRoy Stearns, who's the executive director and also the president of the Humane Society.
I am.
Okay, we need to talk to him because he's the one that can give us the most information about this location. The reason I wanted to do this program is I'm not sure that everybody realizes that the Humane Society here on Park Avenue is open to the public. Somewhere or another, I think we lost track of that, or I don't think people realize that, and we really need to make sure that people are aware of that.
Correct.
That's important for you.
It is. The Crawford County Humane Society was formed in 1952 by 15 individuals.
Okay.
And since 1952, the Humane Society has grown, of course, over the years and with the times. So we have our animal shelter, which is located at 11012 Kennedy Hill.
That's like when you turn in Sheets and also at Al's Market, back up in there.
Exactly.
Okay,
On
all
the
right.
fourth building on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And we accept the animals from the public that are giving up the ownership. And we also accept the stray dogs coming in from the dog warden.
Okay.
And then we accept stray cats from the public. But if you're giving up your animal, you have to make an appointment to bring it in because of
You
the
just
time
can't
frame.
show up.
Just can't show up.
Okay, so you've got this building here, and how long has this building been in place?
This one here has been in place for 4 years now.
Okay, so this is here for 4 years, and how long has the shelter been there?
The shelter's been there since 1972.
Wow.
When it was originally built. Before that, they were fostered out to the
people.
board of directors' homes.
Okay, and then you have a third component to this whole thing.
We do. It's our thrift store.
And where's that located?
That's at 904 Park Avenue, just a few blocks up the street. We started that in 2001. So it's been there quite a while, and it's been a big help to the animals and the Humane Society over the years.
So if I take clothing there and I donate it, I make arrangements and donate whatever I have, clothing and anything else, then that money eventually helps all the pets in the area as far as your two other businesses, as far as the shelter and also here.
Yeah, we're under one umbrella.
Okay.
So every business that produces revenue offsets the Crawford County Humane Society as a whole.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're standing right now in the waiting room, and hopefully our cameraman can kind of pan this a little bit and give you an idea of what it looks like in here. And then, so I've come in the door, very, very nice, very clean in here also.
Well, thank you.
Yes, that's really important. People like that. And whenever a person comes in, they're going to go to the main window and tell me who they're going to meet there, and we're going to introduce those people.
Okay, well, the office staff, the office manager is John Fulmer.
We need John. Where's John?
And
Uh-oh, there's nobody here.
There's nobody here. There must be out back helping.
He's right there.
Okay, let's get John to come over here to the window.
Curtain call, John.
Curtain call, and then who's the other person we're going to see?
Actually, Evelyn, walking through the
Evelyn.
door. Evelyn's been with us for over 30 years now.
Okay, who do we want to do for? I know you got to come up here because they've got to get you on camera. So this is Evelyn. Evelyn, what's your last name?
Palmer,
Palmer, and how long have you been here?
36 years with the Humane Society, 4 years at the hospital.
Oh my God,
So,
that's like an eternity. You know everything.
no,
You know everything about LeRoy.
yes, I do.
That's good. That's
And then
good.
some.
Okay, so if I come here, if I come to the window, will I see you generally?
Generally me, yes.
Okay, and then you're going to take my basic information, why I'm here, and things like that.
Yep, and then put it all into the computer.
Do I have to have an appointment to come here?
Yes.
If I walk in off the street?
We could take you only if we had an opening at that moment.
Okay,
soon.
sounds good. So you're the one that I'm going to deal with. You're going to give me paperwork to fill out, and then we're going to proceed to go in the back and see the doctor. Okay, the other person, if you're not here, who's the other person I'm going to see?
Either John or one of the technicians take over.
Okay, let's get John up here. John, you're next.
Hello.
Okay, and this is John. John, what's your last name?
John Fulmer.
John Fulmer, and I would be meeting you if Evelyn wasn't here. You might also be the person that's here.
My name is.
You do the same things that she does as far as give basic information, find out when my appointment is, what dog I have with me, fill out forms and things like that.
Yes.
Is there anything else I need to know that you're going to do?
As far as that goes, that's not my primary duties. Mainly, I take care of all of the inventory, all of the ordering, and I manage the facility. So that's.
Oh, so you're the manager here?
Yes. So
Okay, well,
as far as
there we
helping
go.
Customers, that would be my secondary.
Okay.
fill-in whenever someone else isn't available.
So Evelyn or one of the technicians is generally who I would see.
Yes.
And then if they're not around or not available, whatever, you may be stepping into that position and help me whenever I first come in the door.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. Is there anything else we should know about that, LeRoy?
No, actually.
What are your hours?
Our hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Okay.
And we do surgeries Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
And you're closed on Saturdays and Sundays?
We are. And we
Okay.
do not provide emergency service. We do have another organization in Erie that takes care of our emergency calls.
And that's basically for all the vets here. Am I correct? I think that's most of the vets.
Most of the vets use the same clinic that we do in Erie.
What is that, Erie Animal Hospital? Is that what it
Erie
is?
Animal Hospital, absolutely.
I think that's easy to find. Someone told me you get off at Kearsarge and turn on Peach, and I think it's supposed to be down there someplace.
Correct. If
Pretty
you
easy.
called, if you would call here when we were closed, all that information's right on the answering machine and gives you a direct number to the emergency center.
And why are the vets not doing the emergencies like they used to?
Well, it's like the doctor's profession. You know, when you go to a family physician now, if it's a specialty, they send you to somewhere else.
Right.
Most emergencies are pretty serious, in-depth things such as broken bones and things like that
Okay.
we're not able to perform here. And not only that, but we don't have a large enough staff to provide that 24-hour service.
Right, I think that's the big key. They have 24-hour service up there for your pet, correct?
Well, they actually start at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. in the evening and run until 8 in the morning.
So
they
someone's
cover
there.
the emergency hours after most of the veterinary hospitals close. And I do believe most of the humane societies, most of the veterinary hospitals probably use that or a similar facility. Now, there are some that do provide, emergency service at their clinic.
If they needed records from a vet, would they ever need records up there? Or is it just strictly an emergency or?
I'm not sure their
that?
procedure. I would assume it was an emergency situation that, they do. I do know that they forward the information back to the
you.
clinic.
Okay.
And we'll get that information. If it's one of our clients, they would do the emergency service, and then in the morning we would get all the information, just like your normal physician would if
Correct.
you were seen by a surgeon.
Okay, so I came in the door, I met John, I met Evelyn, we talked about the hours and things like that, so now it's my turn to go back into the back area.
One thing I
Anything
do want
else?
to point out to you, how we got this facility was from a private individual that left the Humane Society enough funding to provide a business to continue the Humane Society income.
Wow.
So this building and all the equipment was through a bequest that was made. And I'll be honest with you, it was $1.5 million. So this
Wow.
is a state-of-the-art hospital. And we're not a clinic. I try to
It's a hospital.
define that. This is a hospital because we
Okay.
have state-of-the-art equipment that not all veterinarians have. We were very fortunate. And of course, our animals at the shelter receive the best of care, I can assure you that.
Okay. I'll talk to Dr. Cartee because he's the one who's going to give us the little tour of everything in the back.
Yes.
But we'll find out a little bit more about what services are provided here, and we will now proceed. It's my turn back there. I have my imaginary dog with me. I should have brought Danny with me.
No
but
shedding. I
no
like
shedding
that.
from this one. I like that too. Okay, we're going to go in the back and see what happens when we go back there.
Thanks, Million.
Okay, we got some good information from LeRoy, who, as we said, is the executive director and also the president of the Humane Society. So now I've walked in the door, I'm in the back area, and I've run into Lacey.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
And you or another technician would meet me here and then show me to a room.
Right.
So which room are we going to? And wait, let's stop for 1 second because the gentleman beside us, I think you probably have him on camera, don't you? And this is
He does now, yeah.
You do now, Dr. Cartee.
Right.
I got it.
Robert Cartee.
Robert Cartee, and we'll talk to you in a second.
Right.
Whenever
She
we get
would
back
take
there.
you in and get a history and talk to you and examine the dog a little bit. And then she would come out and get me and tell me what she found, then I would go in.
Okay, let's walk back to one of the rooms. You go with us, and we'll
Okay.
take my imaginary dog with us. And then when we get in there, we're going to talk about you, Dr. Cartee, and what you do.
Okay, we're gonna go to the first room here.
Thank you. Okay, we're walking into the examination room here with Lacey, and tell me what you would be finding out for me and asking me some of the basic questions.
Some of the basic questions would be if the dog has been vomiting, had diarrhea, the heart rate I would get, the respiratory I would get, I'd check it,
The vitals and stuff like
Yep.
that. Good.
and then just get a history of what's wrong with your dog, or if it's just here for vaccines, and then I'd go get the doctor.
Okay, so thank you very much for helping me. I appreciate that. We have our little imaginary dog with us, and you're going to leave, and it's going to come Dr. Cartee.
Yep.
And guess who I found? I found Dr. Cartee. Hey, tell us all about you.
What would you like to know?
I want to know your history. What are you doing here in Meadville, Pennsylvania?
I came up here several years ago
Oh, okay.
where I had finished, retired from teaching
Okay.
at a university
In
in Auburn,
Oh, wow.
Alabama. And after that, I did a short stint teaching in the Caribbean. And then
I bet that was tough, wasn't
came
it?
back and bought a practice, sold it, and came up here.
Okay, and how long have you been here?
Been here about 4 or 5 years prior, and then I left 2 years ago and went back and taught for 2 more years.
Okay.
And then came back just recently, last July.
What's your area of specialty?
My specialty area is diagnostic ultrasound.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Well, it's very interesting.
Okay, so what are the type of things? Tell us a little bit about these examination rooms.
Well, for one thing, these tables are power operated so that we can lower them, and
Okay.
nobody has to pick up a huge dog and put it on the table.
Okay.
So we lower it and then raise the dog up to the level that we want to examine. And then after Lacey leaves and I come in, then I would continue the examination in a more thorough way. And we would look at the eyes, ears, nose, throat, palpation, listen to the heart, listen to the lungs, take the temperature, palpate and examine and listen to the history again. And then we would make some kind of diagnosis as to what the problem is and what we can do about it.
Okay, well, one of the things I remember whenever I first came here and I spoke to LeRoy, this is when you first opened, you have a video thing that you can do where people can look at videos.
Yes, it's a closed circuit.
Let's look at that.
The screen is, right now it's just displaying some wallpaper type information.
So what type of information can be on this?
Well, this thing we can bring up a program that teaches the owner about certain things, about health, wellness in their pet, what they can do to keep them healthy, what kind of nutrition they can have. And
well, let's say I'm bringing my dog in for a dental and I really don't know anything about it. It's my first dog.
we do have a program on the dental,
And I can look
and
at
we
that.
discuss the things that we do to help the dog's dental health. In fact, we can cover most of these areas in here. The other nice thing about this is we can also pipe in radiographs.
Okay.
So that if we had the dog in, we took it to the back, we did an x-ray, and produced a radiograph, and then we can display it for the owner in here, rather than have them have to go all the way to the back.
And you're not using one of those screens on the wall anymore. You're actually looking at it here.
Right, we don't have film anymore.
Oh, right. Of course you don't.
It's all on a computer, digitized.
digital. Okay,
information.
all right.
And that means we can blow it up and expand areas and look at it more closely. We can, if we feel that we don't know quite what we're diagnosing, we can send it electronically to a specialist.
Right, such as maybe Cleveland or Camp Horn Road or
Right.
something like that.
And then they will send back their report
wow.
from a radiologist within an hour.
Going back to this program here, these videos, can you change those, or do you get those from a certain place, or can you update it?
I think
was
it's
just curious.
built into the system here.
Built into the system.
Yeah.
Very interesting. How long are most of the presentations? 5-10 minutes or
Well,
so? Or?
some of them are shorter than others, but 5, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, that's interesting. And you also have some flyers over here on the table.
Yep, anybody that's interested, if they're interested, for example, this one's on Lyme disease.
Okay.
We can send that home with them and let them read about it.
Sure.
And decide whether they want to vaccinate or not.
Okay.
Of course, we have the standard equipment for examining the animal. Stethoscope's over there behind that, and the otoscope and ophthalmoscope.
Okay, so I have talked to you, and you've decided that you're going to do some tests. Are there some test areas that you can show us back here?
There are. Now, sometimes if it's blood tests, we may draw the blood in here and then take it to the room where the tests are done.
Okay.
And the owner stays in here with his animal. We just take the blood.
Okay.
If we have to do something like ultrasound or make a radiograph, then the tech will come back in, and then we'll take the animal to the back and do the x-ray or the ultrasound.
Are there certain tests such as the x-ray and ultrasound and things like that where you might have to anesthetize my pet so that he is quiet, that you can get a good picture? I mean, most of mine would say, let me sleep for a while, and they wouldn't care if you were
Most
had 'em on
of
the
them we
table.
can do without that.
You can't, okay.
Sometimes we have to give a light sedative. Sometimes if it's going to require anesthesia, we simply don't do it until a later date when we can schedule them to come in and be prepared for anesthesia.
And why is that? Because we've got
Because
to,
we don't want to put an animal to sleep
if they had breakfast.
if they've had breakfast, right?
Okay. A lot of people I don't think realize that. They say, well, I was there, why do I have to come back?
Yeah.
Mostly it's because of the close proximity of eating to doing the test. Am I
We
correct?
don't want them to vomit during the procedure and inhale it. We could lose the animal that way, so we don't take chances like that.
Okay, I was going to say, I think a lot of people just don't realize that. And they
Yeah.
say, why do I have to come back? Well, you got to come back because of the safety of the pet.
Well, this is a little different. You know, in human medicine, they can tell you to lie down
Right.
and don't do this, do this. But with animals, you can't always do that. So that you have to have some kind of restraint, usually.
Okay. All right, let's have a little tour of this whole place. We'll take little
Okay.
places and we'll keep on adding them to
Well,
our
let's
video.
assume that we drew the blood, and the animal now is going to stay in here for a minute, and then we're going to take the blood to the treatment area.
Okay.
So now we're taking the blood sample, let's say.
Okay, and now we're coming over to this, and this is what?
This is the equipment that we use to process blood footwork to
Okay.
determine the status of many of the organs inside the dog.
Do you ever have to send blood work out?
Yes.
And
Some
what
te- some
would
tests we
constitute
don't
you
do.
not being able to do it here and having to send
Some
it out?
tests on the adrenal gland, we don't have a test for that.
Okay.
So that has to be sent out and done someplace else.
Most vets can do fecal. Most of them can do
Oh, we
basic
can do a
blood work.
complete CBC and chemistry.
Okay, good. I think most of them
It's
can.
just
most of
some
them
very specialized tests have to be done at a specialized lab.
Okay, all right. So you can do an awful lot over here and get
Oh
an
yeah,
immediate
we can
result.
do most everything that anybody needs here,
Okay.
in-house. Takes about 20 minutes. We usually have the client wait,
Take a look at the videos.
and they can look at videos,
There you
or they
go.
can have a cup of coffee, or what?
Cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Donuts, breakfast.
Well, I don't know about the donuts. But
okay.
okay.
Where are we
so-
going next?
So the next place we go, let's assume that we, in addition to blood work, we need to do an ultrasound or an x-ray.
Okay, let's do that.
So we're going to walk back here. Okay, we would come in here with the tech usually. Sometimes if we're doing an ultrasound, I like to bring the owner in
Why is
because they
that?
like to see it.
Oh, I've never.
But we can't
okay.
bring them in to take an x-ray because it's not safe.
Right, so we can do it for this.
But
Now, what-
ultrasound is completely harmless, so
Okay.
that is one thing that they do like to see.
So the ultrasound and the X-ray together are called what? You just told me. that a
Diagnostic
little while ago.
imaging facility.
Okay. So this is the ultrasound.
This is the ultrasound machine, and this is the x-ray machine.
Okay.
And they're really similar, and of course this is producing electromagnetic energy and passing through the animal, and we get a picture of the bones,
Okay.
mainly, some of the soft tissues.
So that's bones and soft tissue.
Right.
Okay.
This is mainly soft tissue. We cannot see through air, and we cannot see through bone. We can see the surface, but we can't see all the way through it. With x-rays, we can see pretty much all the way through soft tissue and the surface of the bone, and all the way through some of the bone.
Okay. So give me an example of what injury or what condition you would use
Well-
the X-ray for. Maybe a broken bone, obviously.
Sometimes we can do both, and sometimes we do
Okay.
both, because they tell us different things. We had one today, a dog, that was having trouble urinating, and we suspected it might have cystitis.
Okay.
So we brought it in here. We could have taken a radiograph that would have shown us that also, but the ultrasound is non-invasive. There's no danger to the client. So I brought the client in. We did the ultrasound, and we saw on the screen the surface of the bone of the calculus, a large calculus in
Oh,
the
wow.
urinary bladder. And this would have been a perfect case for us if you'd have been here.
I know. You should have waited
Because-
until I got here.
We went from having a sick dog to having a dog that's going to need surgery. And so we discussed this with the owner, and then I discussed it with the surgeon, you'll see in a minute. And then he came in and discussed with the client what he was going to do surgically. So it
Wow.
worked, everything worked together very well. And these two entities here work together well.
Okay.
The thing that x-rays show, ultrasound can't show, and vice versa.
Okay, gotcha.
I still have the image on of the dog.
Oh, wow.
This black area is the urinary bladder, and this hyperechoic, we call it hyperechoic area here with the shadow,
Yes.
is the surface of the stone that was in that bladder.
How big was that?
I did not measure it, but it
Give me
looks
a
like
guess.
about 5 centimeters.
Which is as big as what?
Baseball. It was a
Inside the
big
dog?
Yeah,
Nope.
inside the dog's bladder.
Oh, no wonder he was having issues.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad I kept that on there.
Yes, I am too. So we don't have the dog, but we've got the results of the...
We do have the ultrasound, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, looks good. All right, now what else? What are some other things here at the animal hospital that we should see?
Okay, what's left is the surgical suite.
Okay, well, let's go over that way.
Okay,
and
now
we'll
we
see
do
what's
have the
happening
holding
there.
facilities out here for the animals, but that's very, you know,
Okay.
most places have that.
Dr. Cartee, what is my cameraman taking a picture of now? This is what?
This is the isolation unit for holding animals that may have a contagious disease.
And on the wall, we have our little doodad there that says it's isolation.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. And what are all these things here? These are all
These are just little flyers from, usually from Hills. They're advertising different diets that they sell.
Oh, okay. Good. Got that. All right. How many surgery suites do you have?
2.
You have 2. Wow. That's great.
But in one of them we have 2 tables, so I actually have 3.
Now
well,
we're walking into and near the...
This is the main surgery
Step
suite.
back just a little bit so we can look in there.
That's
Whoops.
Dr. Helgert back there operating.
We see him there.
And Becca's assisting.
Oh, this is
It's all
this is
done.
really state of the art. I've
It
seen them
is.
in different hospitals, and this is just
This
gorgeous.
is exactly what you would run into at your hospital.
Right. And you have 2 operating rooms here.
Well, we have, this one over here is mainly a dental unit,
Okay.
but this is the main surgical suite here, and it has 2 tables so that the 2 surgeons can work at the same time.
Oh, great. And this is the...
This is the treatment area and the dental area, and this is Dr. Cherapovich, who's getting
Hi, doctor. Nice
in the
to see
middle
you.
of a dental procedure, looks like.
We were doing a dental cleaning on a cat.
Now, do you do that, or does the technician do that?
The technician does the cleaning and the x-rays and all that good stuff, and then the doctor handles any kind of surgical extraction, or, you know, if there's a problem tooth that needs to be addressed, you know, the doctor will come in and kind of deal with that.
How long have you been at the Humane Society?
About 2 years now coming up.
Okay, and we can't see behind the mask, so you better leave it on, but you are Dr.
I'm Dr. Cherapovich.
Cherapovich. Okay, and you are just a regular veterinarian here who does all the different things.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Surgeries, regular appointments, and animals.
And whenever they probably see you next, you won't have a mask on.
No, hopefully not.
Okay, well, can you take it down for a second?
Sure, yeah,
Oh, there we are.
absolutely.
There's the real person. That was like a game here to see what he really looked like.
Well,
Okay.
we cannot get Dr. Helgert today,
I know
but
we
Dr.
can't.
Helgert's been here the longest.
Yes. We're going to turn around and keep on turning around here. I want them to see what this machine is here. Tell us what this is.
This is a fluoroscopic unit from, actually it's from a human hospital that was donated to us.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is this used for?
It is used similar to an x-ray,
Okay.
except it's more portable.
All right, perfect.
Probably just then the angle.
Okay. All right, and we're going to go back
Now
out
we're
this
going
way
back
and
out
see if there's
here.
anything else we need to add. We're back in the examination room with Dr. Cartee, and step over here beside me
All right.
so we don't confuse my cameraman. But what are the type of things now you're going to be able to report to me?
Based on the exam,
Right, and also based on some of the tests we've already done.
we will be able to evaluate, number one, just based on the physical exam, we listen to the heart, whether there's a heart murmur or not, whether there's any problem with the joints. We do a complete exam of each joint. We look in the eyes for any problems there. We look in the ears for any problems. We look in the mouth. And if we pick up a problem somewhere, it's noted on the sheet that I have. And then based on that exam, we'll make our general recommendations. Sometimes we'll say, as I did today with this other dog, we need to do blood work, we need to do an ultrasound. And then from there, we'll, based on what their response is, we'll do what we need to do.
Hey, let's talk about something. My dog's never been to the vet and are going to come to the vet for the first time. What are some things an owner can do to prepare the dog for the examination that either a technician or a vet might be doing, as a puppy and things
Well,
like
as
that?
a puppy, they need to certainly socialize the animal so
Right.
that it's used to people. isolating one and then bringing it into a vet clinic is not a healthy thing to do.
I think sometimes in the training classes, I think I remember the trainers would say, I had one trainer who used to say, you paid for that dog, you own that dog, you should be able to do anything you want to that dog. And the importance of touching their feet, touching their nose, touching their ears, looking in their mouth, just doing everything. That is so very important, because hopefully if I've done a good job at home, when that dog comes in here and you're examining it, you don't have to worry about you losing a finger, or we don't have to worry about muzzling a dog or something like that if the dog is used to being touched.
Right.
That is so important. And you get some dogs that just are...
We get some
Difficult.
they warn us ahead of time
Yeah.
that they are sharp. I call them sharp.
Yes, difficult.
Difficult to handle. And if they really are a danger, I will sometimes send home a sedative to give the dog before it comes in.
Sure. Because
And
we
then
want
when
everybody to be safe.
Right. You know, I don't want to hurt the dog. I don't want the owner to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
No, we don't want that to happen either. So it's important for owners to, especially whenever they've got puppies or whenever they first get the dog, well, socializing, of course, we always talk about that, but the importance of handling their dog as much as they can, especially the feet. I have 4 dogs. Mine could care who cuts their nails.
Yeah.
They're so used to someone messing with them. You should be able to do almost anything to your dog. You should be able to look in their mouth. You should be able to open it up. You should be able to put your fingers in the ears.
I tell folks, if you can put a bowl of food down for your dog, and if you can take it away from them without getting bitten, you probably are well on your way to having a well-socialized dog.
Absolutely, and that is really a big issue. Anything else we need to know?
Well, you need to be sure you know the vaccination history of your dog, the previous medical history. Bring that with you if you've never been to the clinic before.
I've been to another clinic. Can I go to them and get the records?
Yes.
I should be allowed.
You should be allowed to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sometimes they will say, well, we'll send it over.
Well, that's okay, but
And
I
that's
want
all
them
right,
here.
too. And that's all right,
Okay.
too.
And I should make sure that I bring all that information with me.
Right.
Or unless it's memorized in your head, and it sometimes is with
well,
some
a lot
people.
of folks, maybe I'm reiterating this, but a lot of folks think we don't take the general public.
Yes, you
because
do.
we're associated with the Humane Society.
Right.
But we do. We take anybody.
That's amazing. We should talk about that very briefly, because that was one of the reasons I wanted to come here. I don't think people realize that you do service the general public.
Right.
And it's a beautiful facility. I had been here, I guess maybe 2-3 years ago with LeRoy and had the tour, and I was so impressed by everything
that
you
was
had
all
here.
LeRoy's doing. I mean,
I know, he told us about that, and I wish I could find
really
somebody
put
that...
the money to good use.
he
for this.
really did. And let me think of, is there nothing else we can think of? I think that's usually pretty good. We
I
know the
think
hours,
that's-
we talked about all that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks very much.
Well,
I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Nice
It was a
seeing you
joy
again.
meeting you and discussing this with you. And if anybody has any ideas that you'd like to see in future programs of My Dog and Me, give us a call at the Bark Park, let us know. And thank you very much for your attention. I hope you were able to learn things about the Crawford County Humane Society Hospital. Thank you.